I think we just had some. I think Marcus is hello. This is Marcus. I'm pointing in this direction because he's this way on my screen. He might not be this way on the screen.
Yeah.
Um,
Good to meet you, Marcus.
Good to meet you too.
drinking the sparkling water again. Great.
Yes.
Can you? I think we just had some questions. Can you tell us more about yourself, like your overall, like life in general? Because we want to get a better idea of you. I'm sorry I didn't ask these questions before because I was busy.
No, that's fine. So life story is I got out of high school. I went into the Army. I became a paratrooper. I did one tour in Afghanistan. I came home, started playing online poker, and started doing pretty well. Mostly heads up at first, and then transitioned to six max and a little bit of tournament stuff there in the middle toward the end. And it took about like a year to get to high stakes, and then I lost like 2/3 of my bankroll last year. Like between October and December, I lost probably 2/3 of my bankroll, and then last year it was like January, I think, where I set a goal for myself to take my bankroll that it went from like 340,000 down to like 120. And I set the goal for myself to get the bankroll from 120,000 to 500,000 by the end of the year. And I achieved that December 26th of last year. So about like 3 months ago, right in the nick of time. And since then, back to I did take some time off, and then back in the lab for heads up challenge.
Okay, so your bankroll's at around 500K. Is that correct?
Yeah, right now it's at like
before the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so 600K before the challenge. Okay. What's your home life like? Sorry, yeah. What were you saying?
It effectively it's quite a bit less. I did buy a car, which a lot of people know about. I bought a car, which took about 80 off me. I bought some other stuff which took about like 20 or 30. And I have to pay taxes, which is going to be like 150. So I'm actually working with like an effective bankroll of like
350.
Yeah, probably maybe a bit less. Maybe a bit less, because after taxes, like I haven't paid my taxes yet. They're due like in April, right?
And America doesn't get this thing, but like if you lose the previous year, you get a discount on.
Yeah. So I'm working with like maybe a 250, 300K bankroll, but like
do you have a tax accountant?
Yes.
Yeah, you should get a tax accountant. Maybe they can figure something out because of your loss last year.
So last year I did win. So tax year 2021, I did win, but it was like I ran up like a 30K roll into like 340 within like 10 months. And then I just lost like 2/3 of it over a 2-month period. Yeah, but in terms of like what I'm working with now, it's going to be around like 250 or so. But yeah, that's what
250. 250, you said.
Yeah, that's like factoring in the taxes that I'm going to have to pay in a month.
Okay.
Does that change anything, Marcus?
Yeah, so that's less than we thought you had. So yeah, based on you taking this challenge, it's less than I would have thought you had. Okay, I'll just so I'm Marcus. I've messaged you a few times. We've messaged a bit back and forth. Yeah, so like I used to be a poker player through university. I like made a living and like paid for my dad's healthcare and all kinds of, and like obviously like my start like to like be I'm now a crypto hedge fund manager. We do delta neutral strategies. I still involved in Zenith because Zenith sort of taught me what I know about poker. But yeah, like in terms of like let's call it like what I know about
Yeah.
risk management and portfolio
Yeah,
management.
he's essentially our risk guy at the moment. Like Senna, he knows everything about risk. So when it comes to risk management, you should listen to Marcus.
Yeah. I mean, but before I wrote this article, like maybe a year and a bit ago, like on bankroll management, and everyone told me like clearly this guy's like never played poker for a living, which isn't true because like I've played live and online, um a lot more live than like live online and apps. Like I've made like in total around like 500K playing poker. Like the idea that I haven't played poker is crazy. And then like I mean I just know more financial math than like almost anyone, and also like this is like my business now. Yeah, so the tip, like the advice I gave was basically something like you should be like the standard online or live player should be working at something like 100 buy and bankroll for call it 6 max live and 6 max online. And then for heads up, I would say something closer to like 150 to 200. So considering you're playing 2K and L heads up right now with a, let's call it's not so bad because I like the standard people thing that I see people do is like 20 to 30, maybe 40 buy-ins. I mean, I've also seen people put fucking a third of their roll on the table, or I've seen people put all of the roll on the table. But
yeah,
me, you huh?
I've done that. I did that in my first year playing. I haven't done that in a very long time. My bankroll management has improved. But
so it becomes less important. It's less important if you're like lower stakes. If you're playing like 25 and out and like you lose like your you lose a $1,000 bankroll, then like you can just go earn that, working a job. Like you replacing, like I'm just gonna let you know that replacing like a 300K bankroll it's like it just can't, like there's, I mean, like you could be a quant trader, you can be a software engineer, unless you have like these types of skills. Replacing that kind of like money is a lot. So like I can tell you based on, because I actually talked with Josh earlier today because we're friends, and he told me that Brandon is cross booked to like basically be playing like 10K now here plus a bunch of side bets. Yeah.
Who? With who? Who's taking action on?
I mean I can tell you that he's got like hundreds of thousands in side bets as well.
What the hell?
Yeah,
he needs someone to bet against him.
I know. There's a bunch of people that apparently bet.
Damn.
You've got a bunch of fans apparently. But yeah, like Thomas told me you're basically playing 3K now with
yeah, 3.1 is my cross book.
3.1. Okay.
Yeah.
The side bet of 10K. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. This isn't like so bad. Like you're basically playing like around like just under 100 buy-ins, but it's heads up, so I'd recommend something more like 150 to 200. And the side bet is not that significant. It's 5 buy-ins. But yeah, it's not yeah, it's not so bad, but like it's more than I would have expected. Yeah, what's your to just ask some more questions, like how much poker training have you done, or like what study have you done to like get like as high up as you've gotten clearly?
So I got my start through Upswing about 2 years ago. I was watching the Doug Polk vids back. I picked up poker when I was on deployment in Afghanistan, taking the money off like the Spanish special forces guys and the American contractors. And we had like a little 5-cent, 10-cent game. That's when I started watching the Doug Polk videos. And then I signed up for Upswing eventually. And then I think Upswing is good for like sort of like an entry level or like an entrance into No Limit Hold'em, but it really only takes you so far. I know Thomas, you worked with Upswing for a while, but yeah, once there's a certain point that Upswing can't take you past. I think like the stuff just isn't advanced enough, and I started just working on my own with Pio, and I have like a big ass library of like 6 max sims. I mostly played live poker my first year, and I didn't get too far into the sim streets. But after I lost like 2/3 of my bankroll, I'm like, all right, gonna buckle down, gonna basically just not play any poker for a month, just gonna study. And that's what I did. I ran a ton of six max sims, studied, and the Pennsylvania online games are pretty soft. And I was hitting win rates that people were skeptical of their like truthfulness. But yeah, like I was hitting, I think I hit 12 big blinds per 100 over 250,000 hands on the PA sites playing six max cash. So
on which sites?
The Pennsylvania Poker Stars and Pennsylvania BetMGM, which is the party poker software. Pennsylvania WSOP, I did extremely well on, but they don't have tracking software compatible with it, and they don't save hand histories. So, but
Okay.
yeah, most of my training was just like with my own solver and whatnot, and I have a pretty high aptitude for sort of abstract concepts, which poker is very abstract. So
Yeah, very, like, just not to toot your own horn too much, but yeah, it's like it just is the case that people who like will study and who have like a certain aptitude for it, like a certain intelligence, they do just seem to get good at poker. Like I remember like I had this period where I just sort of like took off, where I was like, so like I understand that that point of it, and yeah. So like how did the challenge like happen? Like, so I don't follow that Discord. Like I just
man,
I literally found out about it because Thomas told me. Yeah, I need to know what, like, how the hell you got roped into this.
Oh man, he was talking that shit. Basically,
Okay,
calling me a fraud, implying my results were all fake, saying that he said that I was like really trash, and then and this went on for like a year. This went on for like it was not like he talked a little shit and then it popped off. It was like over a year in the making, and he's challenging me to heads up, and I'm like I'm really not that bad at heads up. From what I could gather, he's a six max reg, and he's not a heads up reg.
he is.
Which, I mean, yeah, I think he's a good player, and it wasn't like disrespectful. I did not underestimate him. Like I still hold that I knew he was going to be good, but yeah, he just talked way too much shit. And also I kind of got the feeling that like the betting markets would not be very kind to me. So I would be able to pick up additional pieces at a heavy discount. So that was also part of it. But,
all right, yeah. So
I'll
tell
prove myself.
Sure. Okay, so I used to study with Brandon and Josh. We used to study together. Like as I climbed from like 50 to 500 now, and like what else? Yeah, like I studied a bunch with him and also some other guy named Evan, and like a couple other guys, like sort of like IMGTO, and like a couple other guys sort of would come in
Avatar
and out.
Evan?
Yeah. But like I'll tell you that, like, so for someone who's playing as like, this is my read on Brandon. For someone like this is two years ago was like sort of when we stopped, like just like maybe around 2 years ago. But like I could tell you as someone who like stayed with him, like for a 5K reg, like was he among the best 5K regs? No, but he's definitely a reg, and like he's definitely very good at poker. He's probably a little bit like you, like a little bit like less mathematically trained, if you will. Like me, like I was in, like, me and Thomas are probably like way more academic than your average poker player are. But he's like, it's not like he like has like a ton of math training that he like really understands a bunch of stuff. No, he's like just studied and he's played, and like he's of a certain intelligence, and like that just means that you do well in poker. So like I'll say that he's not like godly, but he's very good. And he works hard. Like when I was with him, like I was doing a PhD in chemistry, and he was like telling me what he was like. He'd play like 5 hours a day. And like we would study, like we'd all prepare like stuff like that. We'd take like basically Zenith Sims at the time. We'd study a package of them each, and like then we'd share. Like his reports were always good. He always asked good questions whenever we do quizzes. Like he was like he takes the game seriously, and is he like he's also got a lot of money. I can tell you that because his parents helped him out a ton, especially at the start, and they're both doctors in the US. And then he's like, I can tell you at the time he had a roll of like something like $1 million like million plus, because he like, oh yeah, maybe 1.5 million when he was like, because when he knew that I was like getting more into finance and like portfolio management, he like asked me about like investing and stuff. So like I can tell you that he's got like a 7-figure net worth as of like 2 years ago, assuming that he's continued to play poker and done well at it. Then he's probably like, you know, higher than that, if not more. So like he's like, you shouldn't underestimate him as a poker player. And like I don't think that he played. And the other thing I can tell you is like he played a bit of heads up versus a guy that my friend got him set up with on an app, and then like he lost like a few buy-ins and thought it was rigged and, you know, sort of rage quit. But yeah, I mean, he's not a heads up player as far as I know. But he's definitely not a like he's definitely smart. He's definitely got a good mind for poker. He's also been playing for many years. Because like when I was like 2 years ago, he was playing 5K like 2 years ago. And so like I think he played like maybe 5 years, but he's been playing for like 7 years professionally, basically. So yeah, he's no joke, but yeah, he's not godly. I never like talked to him and thought he was like just insanely like, you know, like godly at poker, but yeah, he's definitely a high stakes reg for a reason. So all right.
Yeah, when I say I still hold that I didn't underestimate him, I'm not saying I'm basically saying I knew he was going to be really good and I prepared accordingly.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying like, you know, I didn't underestimate him. He's not all that good after all. I'm like, no, he is that good, but I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. And I think you challenge yourself, and I know it's pretty admirable. So
Thanks.
Heads off to you there. Yeah, I think like talking like, yeah, like based off like, okay, just some things you should know. Like, yeah, you've been like crushing recently, or like to start the challenge, like you've just based on like math, you just shouldn't expect that to continue.
Yeah,
like you will get a downswing. And like you fortunately have like Thomas super motivated. Like Thomas is like super revenge motivated. And so
Yeah,
like Thomas and Brandon had a follow-up.
I used to coach Brandon.
They had a follow 2 years ago, and they both acted like immature kids, to be honest, and yelled at each other. Yes, Thomas. They yelled at each other for like, and then, you know, Thomas banned him, and then Brandon, you know, tried to get everyone to quit Zenith and all kinds of stuff like that. So like and Thomas is a revenge motivated person, so I don't think he'd disagree with that. So like you sort of lucked out there, but so this is why I think he's been like, you know, going through like you know, he basically took all Brandon's old hands and like, you know, perfectly devised a counter strategy. I will say that I expect Brandon to. I'd be very shocked if Brandon wasn't studying with people for this specifically. I'd be very shocked if he wasn't, and I don't think any of them are like as academic or like good at running sims as Thomas is, but like will like to and then the sort of nice thing is like you guys aren't playing quite enough hands that he'll be able to like get like, because so many of the hands don't go to showdown and stuff like this. I don't think they'll be able to like, you know, let's call it devise a counter strategy to like figure out what you're doing. But because Thomas explained to me the strategy that he ran for you, like in terms of like avoiding specifically the sizes that Brandon studied in, like, you know, going to limp 2.1 and 2.7 is literally to avoid the 2.5, and then like the 9 and 12.5 is literally to avoid the 11 size. Like Thomas explained this, and same thing for 4-bets. Like I don't think he'll have someone who will have done that. But yeah, I don't think he'll have done that. He'll have someone who will have done that. Maybe he'll like, I don't know who he could like. He's probably talking to like this guy SRV who's not that good, so I'm not worried about that. He's probably talking to IMGTO. He's probably talking to Evan. I don't think either of these guys are like super like they use sims to like get good at poker. They don't like craft sims to like counter exploit people. They're not like doing like database analysis to counter someone. So how
old is Brent?
Like to my knowledge, he's a year older than me,
which is
28.
28. Okay. Yeah, I just turned
24. He's 28. I'm 27.
3 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. Happy birthday. Yeah. So Yeah. What else do I remember? I remember. Yeah, he's. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing for a while. Like, he's been playing pro since he finished college in like biomed, and like he was playing all throughout college too. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I've only been playing like 3 years, like 2 years professionally and like 3 years total.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about poker is like, look, there's people who've been playing for years who just don't get good because they don't bother to study. So, I mean, you've done that. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just based on this conversation, it's not like, I don't know, like I thought like, hey, maybe this guy's just like, sort of like an undercover, just crusher, like just high stakes nail crusher who just like completely like rope it up to him. But okay, that's not the case. Like you're a normal, you're not like some like elite who like whatever. You're a normal like good reg. So
I just haven't had time, man. I've been in it for like 2 years.
What's the rest of your home life like? Like who you live with currently?
I live with my family. I live with my parents and my little sister. So
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And you're single at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Which as a poker player is an advantage, honestly.
Plus EV.
Compared to Brandon, who as you could probably tell from people chanting on the Discord. All right. I think we're good to offer what we plan to offer.
Yeah. Okay. So Thomas, being as revenge motivated he is, and as let's call it like willing to like just not wanting to listen to what we told him to do, which was like not get distracted and like finish his like his formations courses and running sims for Zenith. Yeah, he's decided to take this on, and I don't blame him because it's a fun challenge.
I appreciate
Thomas,
that.
Yeah, Thomas is expecting to put in like probably 4 to 5 hours of like coaching like you per week into like in session, and then probably something like 10 hours a week in like studying and studying like looking over your database, everything that's run, and then running sims like Monka sims, etc. So it'll be mainly Thomas coaching you, and then in terms of so Simon's not on the call now, but Simon is how old is Simon? He's like 36 now. Yeah, Simon's been playing professionally for like 6, 7, 8 years maybe.
He's probably been playing poker for like 15 years and like proper pro for 10 years. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check that.
Plus. Yeah. So so Simon will do some sort of mental game coaching there, and I will. Yeah, I'm going to advise you some things right now, and you can do them or not do them. But like you're playing a bit, so like the thing about poker variance is that like it like the reason everyone seems to play, like the reason that something like 100 buy-ins standard, like 150 to 200 buy-ins for heads up is not more standard, is because like 80 to 90, like 90% of the time it's fine. Like 90% of the time, like 20 buy-ins will be just fine actually. It's more just like when shit hits the fan. Like I remember I had this experience. It seemed like all my investments go to shit at once, which is like when crypto tanked, like the poker players I was staking all of a sudden did bad. One guy rugged me, like the bankroll that I gave him, this happens in poker too. Like because you and it doesn't feel like it. It's like when shit hits the fan, like shit sort of just hits the fan. And like this is why like I strongly recommend, like I don't know where the hell people get 20 buy-ins from, because like the reason is like you could probably play like for 2 years, and like I know in like over 50% of cases you won't even notice for the worse. Like it'll sort of just be fine. So yeah, I'd recommend we do something to like probably reduce your exposure a little bit, depending on like what crossbook you've had or whatever. Just like to like I would recommend you have a little less of yourself. Just because like when shit hits the fan, it's going to, like Brandon, like I heard him today, like I just sort of had it on the background, the stream, and he just happened to pop on. He goes like, oh my gosh, like I'm losing like fucking heaps. And like I know what Brandon's lost, like in total, like he's lost what, call it 23 buy-ins of effectively 10K now. So he's lost 230K, let's call it. So far.
Who is he betting against? I don't understand.
Know. There's a bunch of there's a poker players are degens. You don't know, like it's insane. So
Crazy. It's crazy.
well, there's all these. You have a bunch of fans, so like I'll tell you, I'm sure they all a lot of them bet against you.
Yeah, but none of mine are rich. Bro,
Yeah.
Brandon's fans are like high stakes crushers.
I'll even tell you that like quote unquote high stakes crushers have a lot less money than you think they do. Knowing their financial situations. Like you'd be shocked how little some of these people like how much money these people have. But
Wow.
I know, like I don't know, like maybe Josh is wrong, by the way, but like I know I have no reason to think that Josh would be lying here. For how much of himself he has. So but like even still, like let's just say he's lost 250K so far. That's just not like, I assume that's around 10% of his bankroll. Whereas
Wow.
like you're like at 3K and L in terms of the percentage, that's 10 buy-ins and you're up 23, right? So like as fast as it sort of ran up, it can go sort of down the other way. Like I don't know, like I would
Yeah,
you should, if you can, like definitely don't take more. Because Thomas told me that you were like hoping to double down on yourself because people are being dumb. Whether or not they're being dumb, like it's just like in finance speak, it's all Sharpe ratios and risk adjusted return and like not having all your bets correlated. Yeah, don't have all your bets correlated. Like just in terms of like how like there's like a 10%. I don't know. Maybe I'll just bring up some like poker dope stuff. Sorry, prime dope. Like let's just assume that you have a 0 win rate versus him. That you guys are literally dead even. With the current standard deviation for this match is 160, but like I know, like to be safe, let's call it 180. And we have another. What do we have? We have another 21K hands to go.
22.
20. Yeah, like 21. No,
21.5.
It's like 21 point. It's 21.7. 21.7 left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
There is a bow out clause. At 15K
15.
hands, the loser has the option to bow out.
Yeah. So this is like the 5% worst case scenario for you right now is like assuming you have a 0 win rate against him is you lose 21.6 buy-ins. So basically you know like that's a 5% scenario of losing 22 buy-ins. Like there is worse than 5% scenarios that happen all the time in finance, like banks going down, like you know the biggest crypto exchange going down would be the finance equivalent, but like the poker equivalent is like you can just run awful and make every wrong decision. So and this is at 180 variance. Yeah, this could be 200.
So the bottom 5% is going to be losing my entire lead, or is it going to be losing by a lot? I didn't quite understand.
It would be
basically losing everything you've made would be the 5% scenario, but like the 1% scenario is worse, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I made a mistake. What's this? This is the 70% confidence interval. I made a mistake.
No, there's two lots. So the 70% is in the middle. So that's the one you're looking at there is a 95% confidence interval. So
the 95% confidence interval is this.
Yeah.
So the 95%.
Okay.
So the 95% confidence interval is between 58.92 and is like plus minus 58.92, which means
how many trials did you run? How many trials did you run? Scroll up.
This doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
it's not doing based on trials.
20 samples. Yeah.
This is 20 samples of how it could go.
That's the 20 samples.
This is the break-even line. But okay, so the 2.5th percentile worst case scenario is you losing 59 buy-ins.
No, I think those bands are just the standard deviation. So that's the second standard deviation.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, SD minus.
So what would that?
Oh, that was hand number. Sorry, I really fucked up because that was number of hands, not number of big lines. So yeah. So the 2.5th percentile of the 2.5th percentile. So like 2.5% will be this and worse is you losing 59 buy-ins from here.
Mhm. Okay.
which happens 1 in 40 times. But like, I don't know, that's like something you should be prepared for, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like 59 buy-ins at this, you know,
I think yeah, I can lose. I think I can lose 150K. I calculated it out because the nice thing about playing on the Pennsylvania sites is you don't need a big bankroll because I play like I can just beat 500 NL for infinite and like a ton of money very quickly and spin up like like I just need like 100K and I can get back to where I am in like maybe 8 or 9 months.
okay.
So I'm like I came into this financially prepared to lose like 150,000 ish.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. I'm suggesting that's a 2.5th percentile worst case scenario. There are worse.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
like
even
they're not
if
highly
you set
likely.
the standard deviation to 160, which is currently what it's at, and you look at the
47.
447. If you look at the 70th percentile, which means that you've got a 15% chance, right? Like you've got a 15% chance of blowing your entire lead given your EV is 0, right? So it's significant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so 15% chance of basically losing. This is assuming that you guys are break even against each other. This is not assuming he has an advantage or you have an advantage. So
yeah, I think I have I'm pretty sure I have an advantage with like not just me, but like with Thomas running the exploit sims and like going through his database and
Yeah,
I'm not that bad. I'm not punting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're here to make sure. Like we're here to make sure that your win rate is above 0, right? We can't do anything to help with the variance.
Yeah,
is what we're saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. I understand that.
Yeah. My point there was just like this is like a tool that everyone claims that they use to look at variance and stuff. And then like, if you just look at the results, like I don't know how people just misuse this piece of software as much as they do. But like for you, look, if you're playing on the Pennsylvania sites and you have a several 100,000 hand sample of winning at, I think what you said 10 or 12.
12. Yeah, it's like 11.9 all unadjusted and just over
Sure.
12.
Sure, yeah. And then you add in like I'm assuming the variance there or the standard deviation there is something between 90 and 120, let's say.
Yeah, it's around like 120.
Sure. Like you plug those numbers in and you're fine, right? In like almost all scenarios. And like I think saying that you need 100K, you at 5 honestly, like if you told me that you had 50 or 60, I'd be like sort of okay with it too. But like you're playing much bigger than that.
Yes.
And it will not, and like when you start losing money in poker, like you like right now you feel on top of the world, like you feel like you have an advantage because you've been like for a few reasons. One, you've been winning. Two, I bet you've been outstudying the fuck out of him. I think he did not take it seriously enough, and I think now he probably is. And like I don't know, not to scare you, but like yeah, like I think that you guys are like based on everything I know, like there's just no way that you guys are like outside of like a 5 like the advantage that either of you have is between -5 and 5, right? No way is it outside that range. You're both good players, right? So because of that, like yeah, like not yeah, it's who's okay. Yeah, because of that, like you should not be too like jubilant, basically.
Yeah,
and so
sure.
like definitely be staying the course. And like Thomas has given you like advice on like sleeping and alcohol and exercise and all that stuff. And he's the medical doctor here, so I'll let him. I'll defer there. But like, yeah, like zoning in for this is definitely smart to do, and I would not let up with like how much you've been focused on this. So.
Have you listened to the interviews that Brown gave on Twitch?
I listened today, literally like in the background as I was working.
Yeah, so I picked up a few things. In his first interview, So in his first interview, I think he mentioned that it was very difficult to find action on me. And so I understand what you're saying conflicts with this. In that first interview, he said it was very difficult to find action on me. And in the second interview, he also mentioned that he does have other things in his life going on, and he's not spending all of his time on this challenge, which I thought was like maybe he's trying to lull me into a false sense of security. But like it doesn't even matter because like these, like you said, like these are big stakes for me. I care about the money. I also care about my reputation, which he slandered, but I care about the money. Like these are not the highest stakes I've ever played, but like I've never put in a huge sample at such high stakes. And when I agreed to like this much of a sample, like of course I'm gonna work extremely hard. Yeah, fuck. I'm gonna work hard, man. I'm not complacent.
Yeah, it's
like,
more just like
I just don't want to win. I don't just want to win. I want to just like destroy him. Like
yes,
because it's just so much money. It's like I just got to outwork this guy, and then I get paid like 6 figures. Like it's an insane opportunity for me. So I'm gonna work hard.
Nice. Yeah. Like
Okay.
yeah. My point is like okay. So like is like to not like probably like the biggest thing for like unfortunately like people who get into poker are people that like the swings like the monetary and the mood swings, to be honest, too. Like they like the high of winning. They or at least they like the high of winning. I don't know if they mind losing, but like yeah, just like I would try to keep your emotions on it like in check as much as possible. Like in that regard. So yeah, like I'll and yeah, as someone who's both like made and lost a bunch of money in poker and in markets, and like way more in markets and with other people's money, it's I remember like yeah, one of my trades went busto because like and we lost, yeah, I think we lost 15% of the fund, and it was all fine because it was literally all made back. It was like we'd made 30% in 2 months, but like I still felt awful. Like I didn't want to get out of bed for like 3 days. And like you're just actually not going to have that opportunity to not get out of bed because you have to play them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So like yeah, the point is like swings in this challenge will hit you hard, and like the swings will come. You're on a high right now, and like he's on a low. Like at least the way he talked, he felt like he felt crushed, and like he was making the conspiracy theories that like how like one of the people he's studying with is like leaking information to you or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like the funny thing is like we just know that's not true. I know like all that we have is literally like 2-year-old hands from Thomas, right? That's all we have on him, and whatever hands he plays versus you, right? So that is funny that he like you're like that you're in his head there, and like is like how bad is he playing? Hard to like I don't know. I've not watched enough of it. Like I've had it like on the background a bit, just like sort of check stacks now that I have a bet on it because Thomas told me to bet on it. But like even me, like to give you a sense of scale, like my total right now is I have like 10K to win 10 like to win like 10,250, like basically break even. And like this is like a in terms of like my bankroll, like yeah, this is a not quite a 2% bet, right? And like that's not even like right, because like I would never bet like people like I'm sure people are betting like fucking like upwards of 5% on this, and they definitely shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
So like unless they have like a ton of knowledge. Yeah, like and the main reason that I like a lot of the reason that I bet was that Thomas was coaching you, and he has like an insane revenge complex against Brandon.
Yeah.
Like that was a lot of it, and also just I think the people didn't update quick enough. On like yeah, your lead is like pretty substantial in terms of.
He needs to win by 10.7 big blinds from here on out. I also calculated it. It's either I have a positive win rate or this is a bottom 1% run from him. So
that's certainly a possibility. I wouldn't put it past the cards for that to be the case.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
So knowing
bad.
the math here, by the way, that's the math gets like it gets a bit different at small samples. Like if you'd crushed him over like 100K hands, at some win rate, and like then you did the math there, we could talk, but like it's quite surprising how like something happens with the math when you get to like such few hands. Like the card distribution had a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
So-
I plugged it into Prime Dope, and that's how I got the it was like 0.9. It's either
So you
if I'm winning at 0 big blinds per 100 against him, this is a 0.9% worst run. That's like what the numbers are.
Yeah, I mean, Prime don't won't work. What we're saying is Prime don't probably doesn't work that well for low number of hand histories. Like anything less than like 10K, it probably doesn't work that well.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with
the math works differently when the number of observations is low.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah. Like that assumed that there was an equal distribution of cards. And like we don't really think that there should be, based on like you winning at 70 bigs per 100 or whatever you're winning at, right?
Yeah.
So okay. Other than that, okay. So in terms of like the plan going forward, Thomas is planning to basically coach you for like an hour or so a day, like after the session, like do the debrief and
half an hour a day and then some extra on the weekends.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it ends up being 4 to 5 hours per week.
5 hours a week. After, and then he's obviously going to be spending time like while you're playing. He's probably not going to watch you play. He's right. It makes way more sense for him to like analyze your database and run Munker sims. So he'll be spending something like, I mean, watching you play at the snail place. That it is no. It's seriously like watching hands is stupid for him. Like he can just like look at the important ones.
I mean, it's also going to be between like 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. for me. So obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, so Thomas, are you going to wake up and debrief with him, basically?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I mean, I tend to wake up at 6 a.m. to debrief for work anyways. So I wake up, get myself ready, and then whatever stuff I did the night before, debrief and debrief the hands, talk about the hands, and go through, try to update the current strategy.
Okay. So Thomas is going to
spend some extra time on the weekends to go through some more stuff.
Yeah. So that's Thomas's plan. And then for my plan, a lot of it's going to be just talking to you about, like, Simon probably might have some strategy advice in terms of poker specific stuff, and for me it'll be somewhat somewhat mental, like this is how you have to like have a like the psychology of when you're basically betting. Like all these sorts of sports are like not sports, all these activities are sort of the same, like taking risks in order to like try and make money. So like I'll call you, I don't know, probably something like once a week to talk about like how you're feeling about like the risk you're taking on, like this swings, like they will affect you. Like right now you're feeling very good, and like I know that feeling, and then there's going to be like bad, and I know those feelings too. So I'll talk to you, and Simon will probably also talk to you around an hour a week because he's like an active, like playing poker professional. I think what's Simon playing? He's like probably playing like 1K.
He said he said he's currently playing 2K now.
Yeah. So he's like a mid to high stakes reg online, and I know he'll have stuff to talk about you too, probably an hour or so a week. And so that's our plan, and like we're motivated because we're not going to say it now, but like at the end of this we're probably going to say like FYI, Zenith was coaching this guy.
So we just keep it completely secret.
I've not told anyone.
And so I don't think we've told the exact features of the deal. So what we want in return.
So I worked it out with Thomas based on just like an estimate of what like everyone's time is going to be putting in. So yeah, based on estimate of everyone's time and like what, yeah, like you're obviously getting a discount on it because for the massive package. For everything, we're proposing 15,000 plus 10% of winnings.
Of the official winnings. So
yeah, and you can negotiate that. Official winnings, not like, and if he doesn't pay you, then what, are you worried about him not paying you, by the way?
He's been paying.
Oh, you guys have been transferring back and forth.
Yeah, we've been settling. There's a $10,000 limit on ACR withdrawals, I think, per day, and he cannot transfer the money fast enough.
That's always good.
Yeah.
all right.
But yeah, he's been paying.
Great.
Okay.
So give
So
me.
I
like,
can break that down for you.
Yeah. Give me the full details.
So,
please.
So Thomas is planning on putting in 5 hours per week of like talking with you, and then like 10 to 15 off the table. And then I will put in, me and Simon will each be putting in, call it an hour and a half. And then compute. Like Thomas will also be running sims in Munker and in Thomas, what are you running your sims in?
I'll probably run them in GTO Plus.
Okay, yeah. Between compute and like server time, basically, that it like costs us. Thomas estimated that to be 1K every 3 weeks, so around 3K more. And then in terms of Thomas's time, like Thomas is like, me and Simon's time will basically be for free. But Thomas's time, if so, the way we did it there is like we're just going to basically charge like the so call it 40 hours at $250 an hour.
40 hours at $250.
Sorry, where did I get this? Sorry, Thomas. Can you remember?
Yeah. So it was 40 hours at $250 an hour plus 2K for the off-table work plus 3K for the simulations, the server time. Well, 2K between basically Marcus and Simon for their time.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's like 10K for my time, 2K for Marcus and Simon's time, and 3K for the Sims.
I think if I'm smashing Brandon, like let's say I'm up let's say best case scenario, and I'm up like 50, 60 buy-ins at the 15K hand mark, and he bows out. Like, I don't think I have to pay.
We'll if he bows out after 15K, then we'll reduce it because by 15 divided by 25.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, can I just
it'd be 9
weekly installments? Can I pay in weekly installments, like just to make it easier? Because
you
like,
can,
if something
you want,
does
you can
happen,
even pay it. Oh yeah, it does not need to be upfront in my opinion.
Okay.
Because like, yeah, I see no reason for it to be upfront.
Yeah, probably upfront for the server stuff. But other than that, yeah, it can be split evenly. So it would be so if you're thinking that he's going to potentially bow out, so just putting that eventuality in there, let's just say
does he have to pay you to bow out or no?
So if he bows out at any time in the match besides at the 15K hand mark, he does.
Yeah.
If he bows out at 15K hands, he only has to pay the side bet, and then it's over. But the thing is, like, I'm not worried he can't afford it. I'm just like, put yourself in his shoes. You're getting destroyed by some guy who's not even that bad. Like, you could, and your 5K reg, you could just be like playing 5K on ACR, making a ton of money. Like, he might just realize it's not worth his time at that point, because this is like a long challenge. Like, it's going to be multiple months. I think that's a real possibility.
We estimated that it takes 10 weeks.
10 weeks. Yeah. I think, 2 months is like a low estimate at this point.
Yeah, probably it'll take between 2 and 3 months from here, right? You're playing around 500 hands a day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 5 days a week. Yeah. very hard for it to fall outside of 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
We could make the payment installments based on the number of hands that you played as well. That way it will match somewhat closer.
Yeah,
and if you end up taking some sort of break or something.
Yeah, I'm not worried about at all about like the exact schedule. Like as long as it's something reasonable, that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I may just a heads up. I may be taking time off in early April to look at colleges and do some other stuff like prepare taxes and whatever. So that could be a period where we take off.
That won't be an issue in my opinion. Like I know, call it like 3,000 upfront, and then like every week or whatever, like based on the number of hands done. Like Thomas.
Yeah, how about we just do three cut up front, and then 1K per week, and then whatever's left over gets set up at the end.
3K. So to break it down, 3K is for the servers for the rest of the challenge, and then the 1K per week is coaching.
Yeah, and then whatever is left over. So actually, it should be 1,200 because if we're doing 10 weeks about it, and we've got 12,000 left. Yeah,
I would just keep it at 1, and then we'll just do
and then we just do the final setup at the end.
Okay, and I will also, if I do end up holding my lead and winning the challenge, I owe you, Thomas, another 2,000 based on our previous agreement.
No, the previous agreement will be void.
Okay, that's fine. So it's going to be 3K up front, and then 1K each week, every week for the challenge.
Yeah,
which is probably gonna be like 9 more weeks or 10 more weeks. Yeah.
10 weeks, and then whatever's left over, we
whatever's left over 15,000,
and then we get 10% of the official winnings.
With the side bet not included, and official winnings not your whatever you've cross booked. Like if you said you cross booked to 3.1.
Yeah. There's an official cross book up to 2K, right? So
so the official is you're playing them at 2K now, just on the official at 2K now. Like if you've crushed them at 50 buy-ins, right?
Yeah.
At 2K now, then your total winnings will be 100,000. We'll get 10,000 of that.
Yeah, plus 1,000 of the side bet.
I think we said no side bet.
No, none of the side bet. Okay.
None of the side bet. Yeah.
This doesn't include what I've won so far, right? So I still like 10% is not being taken out of what I've won so far, right?
It would be. Yeah, it would be.
It would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's just like another. What's that? That's a lot. That's
4.5.
Another like $5,000.
What are you up right now? 23 buy-ins?
Yeah, I'm up like 23 buy-ins. I think like I would be happy to take the deal if we just what I've already won previous to this
stays
deal, and then that stays in my pocket, and then moving forward from here on out with this new
10%
arrangement.
10% of winnings after 23 buy-ins.
Yes. Obviously no risk exposure to Zenith. Like you don't have to pay 10% of my losses, but 10% of my winnings from here on out will go to you guys. And that's in addition to the 3K up front and then the 1K per week.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I probably want 10% of the side bet then.
That's fine.
Okay.
Which would be $1,000 if I win.
Yeah. All right. So 3K up front. So the total package is 15K. 10% of winnings above your current status, including official winnings above your current status, including the side bet. So if you win, you give us 1K from a side bet plus 10% of the whatever you win above your whatever you've won above your 23.
Yes, 23 blinds.
Yeah. So the current hand count I've got is 3,371. So we'll write that down. And so from 3372 forwards, we'll have 10% of the winnings from those.
Yep.
I almost have that right. I put it in the chat.
Oh, there's a chat function. Nice.
Yeah, so 10% of official winnings from hand 3372 to the end.
Oh, sorry, 10%.
Yeah.
I just sent it to you on Discord, so I have it as well.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not above 23 buy. I mean, it technically is because we don't know exactly what your hand count is now, but basically that is the case. Yeah, from hand 3372. According to this database, there's probably some missing hands as well that aren't including in here, but that'll we'll sort
Are you
out
guys doing the official settlement? Is it based on what ACR tells you basically?
So we're sending our hands to Josh. He's going to look over them whenever we do decide to officially settle. I'm basing all of my estimates off of the transaction history on ACR based on what I pick up and put down on the private tables that we're playing heads up on. I've won 23 buy-ins almost exactly.
Okay.
That's also no, wait. I've won 21 buy-ins, and then without the rake, I've won 23. So
right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So after hand 3372 and beyond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we put it in the chat here.
And Thomas, you want to make a group chat with all of us?
Yeah.
And Simon?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. No.
Here, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's.
And then my other recommendation for you, by the way, is not to read too much like other shit about the challenge.
not to what?
Like, don't spend that much time in the
Yeah, don't spend too much time
in the Discord. Yeah. Or if you can help it, none. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll end up psyching yourself out. Just focus on playing and making sure that you guys are sending the money back and forth regularly. So
sleeping, eating well, exercising.
eating well, exercising.
Yeah, getting like nothing will psych you out more than reading that stuff. I don't even like. I don't. Yeah, like I'm gonna take a quick look. Like, yeah, you don't want to like. They're gonna write some stuff about like you doing super well, or you'll think that you're on the moon and like everyone agrees, and then it swings the other way, and you'll like as bad as you feel, you'll feel even worse because like people like, oh, like he was a fraud or whatever the hell they fucking say, right? So not worth being in there. Good job for quitting or for leaving. So
thanks.
I'll look at it if there's something that you like really need to know for some reason. But even then, I don't expect to.
There should be a caveat if someone quits the challenge in the.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. If someone quits the challenge, everything is prorated to the amount of the challenge that was played. So that means that like if he quits after 15K, then we like divide everything. Well, multiply everything by 15 over 25.
Yeah. It's like
'Em,
60%. I have to pay 60%.
Yeah.
Oh, 60% of the 15K, yeah.
Yeah.
But still 10% of what you've won so far.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
'cause that's involved in the salary, yeah.
just say in the chat that we put you on in Discord, just so that you agree to that, and we'll take a screenshot. So that we just, obviously it's not anything legally binding, but reputations are to be had.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Cool. And are you in Eastern time?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. So is Simon, but Simon has a ridiculous sleep schedule.
All right. Okay, so I guess we'll call that here. I think sorry, Paint. I actually don't know what your actual name is. I've just been calling you Paint.
It's Cole.
All right, Cole. So Cole, we'll meet tomorrow. Is this time okay tomorrow, or sort of the same time as we started today?
Yeah.
To go over the hands from today, and the previous hands. Or do you want to start earlier and go for longer? Because I probably want to go for like 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. I would probably be okay with. Oh, so do you have any new pre-flop sims for me?
I have new flop sims using the pre-flop strategy from version 3, I think.
Okay. So tomorrow I'm probably going to primarily be studying the new pre-flop strategies. And then after that, probably meet up at 6 or 7 my time, which is, I don't know, do conversion to UTC.
3 hours before now, Thomas.
Yeah. 3 hours. 3 hours before now. Sorry.
Okay, so it's 8 a.m. my time. Yep. Excellent. All right. See you at 8 a.m. my time, which is UTC 0. So yeah, UTC 0 tomorrow. We'll see you then. We'll go for about 2 hours, probably discussing everything in more depth. That gives me some time to work through the hands from today and some of the hands from yesterday, which I didn't manage to figure out, and go through some of the post-flop stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Other than that, yeah, you should be feeling good. You've got like a pretty comfortable lead on him.
Yeah, that's how I've sort of been like internalizing it. It's like, it's not so much that like, oh, I'm killing him. It's like, now I have like a nice cushion. Now I can afford to run really shit for a little bit and still not get killed. Because I came into this with like, I was financially prepared and mentally ready to lose 6 figures, and now it's going to be a long time before I even get close to my financial stop loss. I also think I'm playing well. Like I'm confident. Yeah. I'm confident, but pragmatic.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Now. Okay. So we got that done. Is that done? What else is there to talk about? I feel like I'm missing something. Yes, I will send the Bitcoin address into whatever, and the payment addresses all into the group chat, and you can pay them into that from now on.
Okay.
And then you can just take a screenshot or whatever, just saying that you've paid it, and then that way everybody will know. And then I'll figure it out with Marcus and Simon moving the funds around from our point of view.
All right, sounds good.
All right. I think there's nothing else to talk about. Is there anything else to talk about?
I don't have anything to talk about, but yeah, Pate, the only thing I'd recommend to you, like, definitely do not like I know you're feeling good, but like do not like double down on yourself.
Yeah,
Like this is like probably the
don't
biggest
double
thing that
down.
traders do. Like what traders do is typically is like a trade is going well, they put more money into it, which is very analogous to this.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they've just over levered themselves for if the trade goes bad. Right. So like you let's say you started betting on yourself at like plus 200 now, right? Or sorry, minus 200, right? And like, you know, you put like say 10K on yourself at that, and so you owe 20K to someone. If you lose, like, you know, it can just add up real fast. And I don't even know what odds you'd be getting right now. So
I think you know, it's pretty funny. I think I switched to a slight favorite at like at the 16 buy-in mark. I remember people were still taking like break-even bets at like the 16 buy-in mark, which I don't know.
I mean, I'll
Man.
tell you what I got. I got you at 11 buy-ins. I got you as a dog, and then I got you at plus one. I got minus 115 when you were up like, well, like this was the guy was dumb. No one else would have given me
That's
this.
good.
Like I was being
good.
offered someone at like minus one. I was being offered minus 155 or so at 11 or 12 buy-ins, as I remember.
Oh, wow.
Like you became a dog. You became a favorite at 11 for sure.
Oh.
Like probably at 8 you became favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I think statistically, I mean, like probably I should have been considered a favorite. Even if you think Brown is winning at like 5 bigs per 100, it's like 11 or 12 buy-ins is a big deficit to come back from, you know, like over the entire challenge you have to win. Like
Yeah, I
45
mean,
bigs per 100.
in terms of variance, not 9 heads up. Heads up is very high variance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The variance of this match, I'd be surprised if it wasn't like 180. I think people think it's like 140. I think it is 180. That's the standard deviation, and variance is the square of that.
Oh, the variance. Yeah. I'm used to going off from
Poker players use terms interchangeably when they should not, but yeah.
Yeah. When you say variance, I always thought like, oh, he's talking about the standard deviation, of course. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
Variance
that.
is sigma squared. Yeah.
Yeah. I did take AP stat in high school, but that was like
Yeah. So like
years ago.
when people sort of make these numbers, you know, standard deviation, that's just so we can compare the standard deviation to your win rate. But in reality, the swing is going to be the square of that number. So it's going to be significantly more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like if you just think about it, like if you
conceptualize it.
let's assume that you guys are break even against each other, right? And you Tom so Brandon has gone now down 23 buy-ins. Right? And that's just an event that happened in 3,300 hands. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that like among break-even players at heads up, 23 buy-in swings at over 3,000 hands is just in the realm of like things that happen, right? So
yeah.
Like that means it could go. You could just have another one of those heaters, or it could go the opposite way for you, right? So that's assuming you guys are break even against each other. I don't know. It seems like a fair assumption. Like, you know, well, it seems, I don't know. It doesn't seem that fair, but yeah.
I bro, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm winning.
I think you're winning in the sense that like, I don't think he took it as seriously as he should have. Like, I think that's a lot of your advantage. Like he should have like been studying heads up, and he didn't. And he should be like, he should probably form a team around himself, or like other than like he should form a team of people that are going to do what we're going to do, as opposed to like just talking with people at heads up strategy or something like this, right?
Yeah.
Like I assume what he's doing is he like gets on a call with like a few of his friends, and they like talk about like what happened that day, on the tables, and you know, like I don't know, like if you remember like the DNEG and like Doug challenge, what did they do? Like they both had fucking teams that were working like around the clock, right? And we're not going that insane because like the stakes are like, I don't know what are, I think the stakes are 100 times less, but like still, right, they were playing 200 400.
Yeah.
Sorry, 10 times, 20 times. 20. Yeah. So but like they had full teams 24/7, and as I recall, I know people that were on like Doug's team, like there was like 6 or 7 people. And then like, I don't know, like, so I guess you've got like Thomas, like, I don't know, you've got like one full-time equivalent between the 3 of us, like mainly Thomas, right?
I also
So,
think like the pre-flop stuff I'm doing is just better by like 3 or 4 big blinds per 100. So unless I'm losing like 3 or 4 big blinds post flop, I should be a fit. And I don't think I'm being outplayed post flop. I honestly think. I mean, he's made some mistakes, like pretty blatant mistakes. Like he's made river calls for like I showed one to Thomas the other day and it was like -6 big blinds. It's just like maybe he's like got some sort of sick reads, but the sick reads, like every time he calls me light, I just fucking have it. So
okay, yeah, and then yeah, I'd agree with you. I will just say even with a 5, like with even like, so like just plug in the numbers, right? Let's say you're actually beating him at 5 bigs per 100, right? Which is a very substantial win rate against someone in heads up, right?
Yeah,
for good players, right? Then like this like you're beating him right now at 70, right? So that means you could lose at -60 over the next like over the next, and like that'd be like even, right? Like over the next like 3.5k hands or 3k hands, whatever it is, right? Which would be like negative like 20 buy-ins or something. Like the variance in poker like just completely dwarfs the win rate for online poker, like to the point where like winning pros, like I've had to explain this to people, like if you're a live pro, yeah, like your win rates are like way higher. They're in the tens of BB per 100, but like online, like I know, like yeah, yours is 12, but like you've definitely had losing weeks.
Yeah.
Right. That's at a huge win rate, whereas like someone who's winning, like who's not in the soft, like in the soft pools, or like, you know, someone who's winning at like a very good pro is winning at 5 bigs per 100. They could lose a month of the year, let's say, maybe even 2, or break even, you know, over 2-3 months. Yeah, like the point is like,
I think in terms of understanding variance, you might talk to Simon. He's been doing this for a long time, and his brain is kind of like not quite immune to it, but like he has a lot of resources that he summons from deep within to deal with this sort of variance.
He also like has a therapist to deal with variance. Like
I have a therapist too, and for multiple reasons.
This is a guy who plays for 200. Like he has his rolls are always 200 buy-ins, whereas like, you know, other people are, you know, you're floating at 100 with you're floating at 100 with in heads up, which is, you know, higher variance. So like the swings will get will, I promise swings get to you. And like we offload, like in the fund, like we have one person who like externally looks at our risk management, at our portfolio management in strategies, just in order to like who basically just doesn't let us when we want to like throw more into a strategy than we're allowed to. And the reason is like when things are going well, we want to, like a strategy is going super well, we want to pour more money into it, and we're just not allowed to. Like it's just a hard limit. We're not allowed to. Like, you know, same thing here. Anyways, I think on the whole, like I think things are good. Yeah, we should basically continue this, and you should probably get some. What time do you go to sleep at?
I usually go to sleep at around 11:30 or 12.
Yeah. Okay.
In that window.
Well, time for you to get off a screen.
Yeah.
Like I think it's something like I try not to be on a screen an hour before bed. I don't know if that's doctor approved, Thomas. Is it?
Yeah, it's probably 2 hours. Honestly, screens really mess things up in terms of optimal sleep. Yeah. Well, one hour is excellent. 2 hours is fantastic.
I mean, just doing it at all is good. All right, perfect. All right. Good to meet you in person, and
it's good to meet you, man.
Yeah,
me too.
I've got a side bet on this line on this too, so I'm really wanting it. Yeah.
Yes. Marcus has his personal incentive. I've got my personal revenge.
Money does not motivate Tom. Money does not motivate Thomas at all.
And Simon is going to support our own.
Simon's more mellow.
Yeah, Simon's just like, I'm already playing 2K now. I don't want to add any extra bets and have to deal with thinking too much
Yeah.
about it. But Simon, we'll definitely have a chat with you about everything and variance and poker life and dealing with different types of tilt at a later date. Okay, so we'll ring up now, hang up now, and then I'll talk to you tomorrow at UTC 0000.
Yes.
Bye bye.
All right. Good night.
Peace.